this flyer towards First Americans embodied would be allowed to.
All right. I am here. Hello, Mustafa. If you have questions, ask me your questions. Write your questions in the chat and I will answer them. Okay, Marwa, everybody has to practice English. That's why everybody's here. But I'm a teacher. Ask me questions. I'm a real teacher. You don't have to pay me. Ask me questions. Don't just talk to me. I'm a teacher. Ask me questions. Come on, I'm waiting. Supposedly all of you guys want to learn English, right? If you want to learn English, what's the problem? What literary books do I recommend, not for just learning English, but for improving myself? Now that's a good question. I like that question, Leonard. Leonard, wow. That would be a pretty long list for me to make. So Leonard, I have many books that I love, that I think were very influential on me, but I don't always assume that the books that were influential on me would be influential on everyone. I really truly believe that reading is like finding treasure, and everybody has to find their own treasure. Everybody treasures different things, so you have to find your own treasure. But there are many books that we all talk about, right? Books, things from Shakespeare, those are valuable things. I read a lot of philosophy. I read Plato and Rene Descartes and Kant and a lot of philosophers. That's good stuff too, you know. I read some of the works of Albert Einstein. I found that interesting. Benjamin Franklin, I've read some of his stuff. Frederick Douglass. There are many, many, many books that could influence you in positive ways. There are many books that could influence you in positive ways. Okay? But I think you should try to find the ones that speak to you. Okay, Leonard? I'm sorry I don't have a more specific answer for you, but I feel it's strange because it's like telling people what food I like. Just because I like it doesn't mean you will like it. You know? Or the music I like. I love jazz, but that doesn't mean you will. Now, do I think you should try it? I do. I do. But I think that half of the fun of exploring music is the exploration. Half of the fun of exploring food is the exploration. Half of the fun of exploring reading is the exploration. Yeah. So, Leonard, find the books that speak to you, and those are your treasures. Okay? Hello, Belen. How are you? Yeah, it is a Monday feeling. You're assuming I'm a pirate? What? Huh? Why would you assume? I have no idea what that means. What's the difference between a journal and a diary? Nothing. They're the same thing, pretty much. Okay? Okay, once again, if you have questions about reading, about writing, about listening, about speaking, about maybe you don't know how to think in English, or maybe you want to work on your grammar, you have grammar questions, or pronunciation questions, or accent questions, or vocabulary questions, ask me. Ask me. What do I recommend for a person who is stuck between upper intermediate and C1? Do more shadowing or study more in general? Armin, I would say that if you are at a intermediate C1 level, right, that's like a B2 C1 level, all right, and you want to be more in that C1 level, then you need to push yourself to do C1 level things as much as you can. So there are a bunch of ways that you can push yourself. Are you reading C1 level reading? Are you trying to do any writing that's C1 level? Ask ChatGPT to give you some C1 level writing assignments, okay? Or help you to work on your C1 level writing. Tell ChatGPT you need to work on your C1 level writing, okay? Or your listening. Are you listening to C1 level listening? Are you trying to speak at a C1 level? Right? That's a little harder to do because you have to find the right environment for a C1 level. And you need to work on your C1 level vocabulary and your C1 level grammar. So the point is, if you are not moving forward, it's because you are not pushing yourself enough. It's really that simple. Learning is supposed to feel difficult a lot of the time. Learning should feel hard a lot of the time. That's when you're making progress. If it doesn't feel hard, then that's when you're not making progress, and that's when you feel like you're not improving, right? Okay? That said, I look like the alchemist. Okay, I don't know who that is, but okay. Apart from listening to my English lessons in the live stream, how else can I practice my spoken English in my daily life? Kathy, practicing your spoken English in daily life in China can be difficult because you don't have many opportunities to practice speaking English. If you can find opportunities to practice speaking English, then you should. For example, many cities, there are groups of people that get together to practice English. They're English speaking groups. That's exactly what they are. Okay, you can look on social media to see if you can find a group like that, right? Type in the name of your city or the area, and then type in English speaking group or something like that, right? In your language, probably, right, is best. And then these groups, they usually get together at a restaurant or a cafe, and they have all levels. Many are natives, some are non-natives, right? So there's a mix. It's a mix of natives and non-natives who get together to practice speaking. These are pretty common groups, actually. These are pretty common groups, but you have to go find them. Okay? But, Kathy, because you can't practice speaking very often, then you need to find another way to practice. And the way to practice is by thinking. So change the language that you think in every day. Start trying to think anything that you can think in English, you should try. That way, I want you to think about it like using English in any form is like being in the water, right? So we're going to call this the English water, all right? You have to get in the water and spend time in that water. You have to spend time swimming in that water. So how can you spend time swimming in that water? Well, you could do some reading. That's one way to spend time with the language. Reading. You can listen. That's another way to spend time with the language, right? You can try speaking, but we just said that speaking is tough because you don't have many opportunities, right? So, but you should try anywhere you can. You should try, but it's hard to find opportunities, right? So we got reading, writing, listening, right? Then you should try to figure out other ways to work on your English in daily life, right? So work on your vocabulary, work on your grammar, work on your pronunciation, right? But Kathy, the secret to me is that language doesn't need to be said. It doesn't need to be spoken. It just needs to be thought. So the point is that if you spend time thinking in English, you spend more time in the water. And the person who spends more time in the water is more comfortable in the water. Right? So if you want to be comfortable, then you need time. You can't get comfortable if you don't have time in the language. And thinking in the language is another way to get time. And it's a great way because you can do it all day. You can do it all day. All right? Fred, you can understand my spoken English clearly because this is my job. Okay? You have a problem with accent. Umar, what is your problem with accent? You have to tell me more. Just saying I have a problem with accent I can't help you with that. What is your problem with the accent? Tell me what exactly. Okay? Hello, Islam and Valerio. How are you? Let's see. Masa says, how do I start using advanced vocabulary that I've been learning for a long time. Masa, vocabulary, many people have trouble figuring out how to use vocabulary. But it's kind of like understanding what song sounds good in what room. Right? So let me explain. Some vocabulary words don't sound right when you use them in certain situations, right? So if you're in a simple situation and you use a really advanced vocabulary word, sometimes people think that's a little weird because it's kind of like you're playing the wrong song. They're not expecting that song. They're expecting another song. They're expecting some pop music, right? But you gave them some weird classical music. Okay? So then how do you figure out how to play the right song? Well, you have to figure out which words are useful in which places. And then imagine that situation or put yourself in that situation. So, for example, if you're using academic level English, then you should try to put yourself in academic level English situations. You need some situations where you can use that language. Because if you're just trying to force yourself to use those words, that's only of limited value. Okay? So if you're just trying to force yourself to use a difficult word, I tell my students to do that. I do recommend that you try to use the words even in a common situation to use a higher level elite academic word. But I recommend that you do that in a playful way, not in a serious way. Right? But if you're looking for a way to use them seriously, then what you need is you need to find the right context. And then when you're in the right context, now those words will they'll be there. Now you're in the context where those words are the words you need. Right? So if you're talking to your friend about music, then you need music words. Right? If you're talking to another friend about food, then you need food words. Right? So the idea is you're going to struggle to find the right words if you're looking for a word without a situation. You're trying to put a word without the situation. It's better if you think of the situation first, and then you'll figure out which words work for that situation. Okay? Do you understand? That's why it's tough to use difficult words, because those words are not always useful in everyday situations. Okay? And that's why a dictionary is really it's not a good way to learn vocabulary. The dictionary, everything you learn in the dictionary is in alphabetical order. And alphabetical order does not help you at all. It doesn't help you to know how to use the words at all. It helps you know how to find them, but it does not help you know how to use them. To know how to use words, you have to think about what words are useful in this context. Right? So when I'm talking to my teacher at school, then these words are useful. But when I'm talking to my grandmother at home, then these words are useful. And when I'm at work, these words are useful. Right? All right. You have a Pakistani accent. Umar, you don't have to lose your accent. Nobody cares that you have a Pakistani accent. Every accent is completely fine. The accent is not the problem. Clarity is the problem. Okay? You can speak English perfectly well with any accent. Okay? So if you have a Chinese accent, doesn't matter. If you have a French accent, it doesn't matter. If you have a German accent, a Polish accent, a Brazilian accent, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your accent clear? Not perfect, clear. Clear means, can I understand you? That's all that means. Okay? It's a waste of time to try to sound like me. You don't need to do that. You don't need to waste your time trying to sound exactly like me. But you should try to make your accent clear so that people can understand you. That's all. Okay? Hello, Kessia. You're trying to think in English every day? Good. I'm glad. Hello, Tina. How do I phrase my words into sentences that make sense and are natural? Well, Masa, I would say that this is one reason why it's important to listen and read. When you listen to other people, you hear how the words should be arranged, right? What sense they should make, right? When you read, you can see how the words should be written. What order should they be in? How can you use them? All right? So, reading and listening are a good way for you to start understanding how to write sentences and understand sentences better. Okay, of course, you need a little grammar too, so that you can understand the grammar of English sentences. Okay? Okay. Please be patient. I'm trying to answer all the questions. Tomas, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. When I speak Chinese, I know that I don't sound like I was born in China. And guess what? I don't care. I only care if they understand me or not. I didn't learn a language so that I could pretend like I was born in another country. That is not why I learned another language. I learned another language to express myself in another language. Okay? Ni bu shima. Okay. You understand each word in the sentence, but you don't understand the sentence itself. What are you reading? Imad, maybe you're reading something too difficult. Try reading something easier. Okay? Try this. Go to this website, eslfast.com. It's a free website. They have about 2,000 free short stories that use basic English. Okay? Try that. English vocabulary is vast. Yeah, it does get frustrating, I'm sure. Yeah. English is a language that loves to be inefficient. We are a language that revels in, or I should say ours. Ours is a language that revels in choice, that revels in variety. So we have so many words that mean the same thing or something similar or a very close shade of that, right? We like to talk about all the various shades of things in English. So it's a detailed language. Yeah. Hello, Miguel. How are you? Good to see you. Zoe, 如果你听不懂我说什么，我觉得就是因为有时候我说快一点，可是有时候我说慢一点。跟我觉得如果你听我，你可以试试看，听我看我。你可以听得懂一些，好不好？Honestly, do native speakers understand all the words in those scenes of action movies for Mission Impossible? Tomas, I have a confession to make. I have never seen one of the Mission Impossible movies. I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen Mission Impossible 1 or Mission Impossible 10 or Mission Impossible 25. Isn't something wrong if they keep saying it's Mission Impossible but it's Mission Impossible 21, then isn't it Mission Possible? Because he's done it a bunch of times. Am I not a fan of Tom Cruise? I'm not really a fan of that kind of movie. Action movies bore me. They're not deep enough for me. I'm sorry. But when I was a kid, I liked a good action movie because it's like boom and wow and zhuzh and like wow. But I'm an adult now, and now I need more than just boom and bah. I need a story. I need actual drama that makes sense. I need reality, you know? And when I watch the Mission Impossible movies, I just go like, yeah, no. You know, it's like, come on. Are we really buying this? We're really buying this? I know, I'm not, I'm a party pooper. But I expect more. I expect more. I expect more. Do I like Vikings? I do like Vikings. That's a pretty good show. It's pretty well done. It has action, but it's historical to a point, to a degree. They do a pretty good job compared to many, many TV shows or movies, historical TV shows or movies. They do a pretty good job of trying to be relatively accurate. Relatively, I say, but even a show like that, there are things about that show that I watch and I go, yeah, but I know it wasn't really like that, you know. But that's okay. That's called the suspension of disbelief. You have to. Sometimes when you watch a movie, you have to suspend your disbelief. You have to say, okay, I know this is just fantasy, right? So science fiction movies, I usually like science fiction movies. If it's a good, well-written science fiction movie, then I don't mind if it's crazy stuff that's like, wow, is that real? But they have to try to make it believable. You have to write it smartly so that it seems believable, right? So, yeah. Anyway, I like action sometimes, but it has to be believable. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's true. All right, let's see. Wu Shou Neng Sheng Qiao. Okay. Of course it's possible. Of course it's possible. But it takes time and a lot of effort, and you need a good system. Okay? Now, if you watch me and you watch my videos, then you will find a good system. I have a system for everything I do. I don't do anything without a system. I'm kind of broken that way. So you need a good system, and then you can get closer to there. But as I said earlier, you don't need to sound like me. Nobody cares about that. And guess what? If you do sound like me, when they hear you speak English, they're not going to be impressed with your English. Do you know why? Because they're going to hear your English, and if it sounds like mine, they're going to think you were born here in the U.S. So that means your English is not impressive at all. It's your language. But if you have an accent, that's clear, and you speak really well, you speak brilliantly, but with an accent, people will be really impressed with your English. They will think, wow, that's amazing. You speak your language and you speak English just as well. Because nobody cares about your accent. Okay? Are people in the USA talking about 3I Atlas? Is the interstellar object? Is that the one that they're saying seems to be able to control its own trajectory? Tomas? Is that the one that seems to be able to slow down or speed up or change direction? I think I read about it a little bit. Yeah. So are we talking about it? Not really, Tomas, and the reason why is because there are so many other completely insane things that are going on planet Earth right now. So because of all the other crazy stuff that's going on, that's not even being, nobody's really paying attention to that. You know. Yeah, they're speculations, right? And I remember they speculated similar. There was another object that came through our space a couple of years back, I think, and it also had some peculiar characteristics in the way that it was designed and moved. You know, I think that Tomas, I think that what we know about space, and we are babies. Our knowledge of space is that of a baby. So I still think that there are millions and millions of things that we have yet to learn and understand about space and about our universe. So it doesn't surprise me when we see something that we don't understand. That doesn't shock me, it doesn't surprise me, and it doesn't really scare me. Do I intentionally use some simple expressions when I'm live streaming? Yes, because that's what good teaching is. If I say something brilliant, but I use difficult words, then only some people will understand it. So vocabulary can be inclusionary or exclusionary. I have a good vocabulary, believe me. I teach advanced vocabulary sometimes on my live streams, okay? But I know when to use them. And when I'm teaching, the object is to try to give information, give ideas and knowledge to as many people as possible. So, when I do that, I try to use simple language that everyone will understand. When I started teaching English, my first year of teaching English was teaching kindergarten and first grade and even preschool. Okay? Those are 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. If you teach 5-year-olds, you have to speak simply and slowly and clearly. Okay? So yes, I do use simple expressions on purpose. Simple words used well are always better than complicated words used poorly. Okay? And anything that is said in a complicated way can be said in a simple way. Albert Einstein said, if you can't explain it simply, then maybe you don't really understand. Okay? All right. Yeah, Tomas, I used to be interested in that stuff. I used to be really interested in that stuff, but, I just... it's hard to be interested in anything other than demise right now. the fear of utter demise. Yeah. Do we commonly use the word amid? I wouldn't say commonly, no. Not commonly. But we use it. It's used. Amid just means in the middle of. Okay? In the middle of. That's what amid means. Okay? Okay, once again, if you have questions about English, I am an English teacher. You should ask me your questions. I will answer them. Okay, but I remember when I was younger and I asked my teacher a question, and it was a big question. It was like, how can I be better? And my teacher looked at me and said, Mark, that's not a good question. And I said, why? Why is that not a good question? I want to be better. How can I be better? And he said, Mark, if someone wrote a book about that, it's not a good question. Because someone wrote a book about that. If someone writes a book about it, I can't tell you how to do that. I can only give you the book. Right? That's why you should ask a smaller question. You should ask a more specific question. Those are good questions. Big questions are not good questions. How can I be better? It's not a good question. Okay? How can I improve my TH sounds in my pronunciation? That's a good question. How can I improve my reading comprehension in level B2? That's a good question. How can I improve my listening for academic level English? That's a good question. Be specific. If you want real help, ask real questions. How many of you are new? How many of you are new? Anyone? New people? Verbal is new here. Zoe's not new. Tee hee hee. Okay, so if you're new, hello. My name is Teacher Mark. I have been on Hello Talk for many, many years. Okay, I have about 83,000 followers here. They don't follow me because I do stupid, funny tricks. They don't follow me because I talk about gossip or hang out and chat. They follow me because I'm an English teacher and I answer questions about English. They definitely don't follow me because I'm cute. All right? So, 83,000 people ask me questions about English. 83,000 people ask me questions about grammar and vocabulary and pronunciation and reading and writing and listening and speaking and vocabulary. Everything. They ask me questions about anything. So if you follow me here, you will hear answers to a lot of questions. Okay? Ooh, here's a good question from Bialara. What are the key elements of writing an effective scientific article for academic publication? Wow. Okay, well, I would say the key elements of writing an effective scientific article for academic publication would be clarity, clarity, clarity. Writing a scientific article is like making an argument. You are stating that this is what you believe or this is what you found, right? So a scientific article, they state something. They tell you something, right? So you have to make a statement, but that statement has to be clear and it has to be organized. So in a way, when you're writing an article about a scientific theory or concept, it's like writing an argument. You have to prove it. Prove it. Show that your argument is true. Show that your evidence is good. Okay? So that would be the most important thing I would say would be clarity and organization. And how do I do that? I think I told you about this before. Academic writing has to be organized. So that means you must really be good at outlines. You have to know how to make a great outline. An outline is what you need to make a great argument. An outline is what you need to organize your thoughts so that you can see all of them like pieces and parts that you can move around and say, oh, this part would be better if it goes up here. Okay? An outline is like a puzzle, and you're going to put it together to make the picture. That's your argument. Okay? But it's amazing. Many people are not very good at making outlines. But it's a critical skill, in my opinion. Good night, Zoe. Again, if you have questions, I'm here. I'm here. Come on. Where are your questions? I am a drummer. I am definitely not a singer. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, Nora. Forethought, is it too formal? No. No, I don't think so. No, we say both forethought and afterthought. You know, an afterthought would be something that you thought of after, right? A forethought is something you thought of before, right? I talk like a singer. What's that mean? I don't know what that means. Which translator should you rely on? You mean which app? You shouldn't rely on any of them. You can use them, but don't rely on them. Translators are sometimes wrong. You know? Why am I looking over here? Because I have another computer over here. And if you're not asking me questions, then I've got work over here to do. Nice hair. Okay, thank you. It's always so funny to me how many people think like they talk about things like hair. It's just funny to me. Anyway, thank you for the compliment. How can I improve my 6-year-old daughter's enthusiasm about learning English? Yes, I have plenty of recommendations, Rocky. Rocky, most kids before the age of 8 or 9, no, I'll say 8. Let's say 8, okay? Before the age of 8, most kids are not really ready for an active learning environment for English, okay? An active English learning environment. They're not ready for that yet, okay? So if you're giving your kid homework, if your kid is 6 years old and you're giving them exercises to do and homework and you're giving them flashcards and tests, no. Your kid doesn't like English because nobody would like that. You're teaching them to hate English because you're forcing it on them. You have to let them come to it. You can't shove it in their face. Okay? So, what you should do is before the age of 8, if you have children and you want them to learn English, then you should create an English environment, a passive English environment. So what that means is, do you have any English music that you play? Do you let them watch any English TV shows or cartoons? Do you have any English books for them to read, children's books? Do you have maybe in your house the table, maybe the coffee table? Do you have that? Maybe a note on it that says coffee table in English, right? That's called a passive learning environment. You're creating English around them. You're showing them that English is valuable. You should speak English. That's the first thing that they never do. Parents, they always say to me, my kid doesn't want to learn English. And then I ask them, do you ever speak English at home? And they say, no. Well, your kid would want to learn English if your kid thought English was important. But they see it's not important because you never use it. So, for most kids before the age of 8, you shouldn't be trying to really teach them anything directly. Don't force it on them that much. Just create a passive environment. You can play some games, some English games, but they should just be simple, fun games. It should not be something where you're pushing them. Okay? Do you know what one of the saddest things in the world is? A child who already hates learning. But I've seen it many times. And the reason why is because adults put so much pressure on the kids that they kill learning. Learning is like a fire, and you can kill it. Okay? A fire has to be maintained. A fire has to be carefully taken care of. You have to build it. You have to grow it. But a parent can come in and kill that fire. Okay? What's pressure? Liu Xiang, it's you must do this, and you must do that, and you better do better, and you have to do more, and 99, that's not good enough. Get 100. That's pressure. Okay? Learning is supposed to be a joy. Okay? At least in the beginning. When you're a kid, learning is supposed to be one of the most amazing things in the world. And if it's not, then you're killing the fire. If kids completely hate school, then you are killing fire. You're not growing the fire. You're not building the fire. You're killing it. Okay? Let's see. Please tell us a proverb. About what? There are many proverbs. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. There's a proverb. We must practice speaking, writing, listening, and reading every day. Yes. If you want to be good at something, then you should do it every day. Yeah. That's not hard to say. Okay? Bellin, is it like a prevision? No. Forethought is basically like preparing well. That's what to have forethought means. You didn't just do something without thinking about it first. You thought about it and prepared yourself to do it well. That's to do something with forethought. Means to do something that you prepared yourself for. Okay? How can I make sure my translation is correct? That's hard, Bialara. I think that you should check it with multiple sources, right? So you can check it with ChatGPT, and you can check it with a couple of friends, maybe, or a professor or something, right? You should check multiple sources to see if something is correct. Okay? Rocky said, I quite agree. I learned with her and speak with her in English sometimes. Good. Okay, well then you're on the right track, Rocky. Just show her that you like English. Show her that you think English is interesting. Show her that you are excited about English. If that's your daughter loves you and admires you. she will admire what you admire. Okay? Why do you understand me and not others? Because I am a teacher. The others that you're listening to, who are they? Who are the others? They're just some people. I am an English teacher. If you didn't understand my English, that would be weird, right? I'm an English teacher. It's my job to speak well. All of them in one day. Nora, that's different for every person. Everybody has a different way of studying. Everybody has a different plan. Everybody has a different method. Okay? Maybe some people do a little bit every day. Maybe some people do reading on Monday and writing on Tuesday. Maybe some people, they don't do much reading at all because they don't really feel they need that, but they do mostly speaking practice. Right? So everybody's different. You need a plan. Make a plan. And when I say make a plan, I mean write it down. If you didn't write your plan down, then you don't have a plan. If you didn't write your plan down, then you don't have a plan. Okay? Yeah, Liu Xiang, yeah, 都可以用. Yeah, 随便. Yeah, whatever. Use DeepSeek, use ChatGPT, use whatever you can use. Okay, 都可以. Okay, Karen is raising her hand. Let's talk to Karen. Karen, do you want to come talk to me? Karen, are you there? Oh, no, I guess not. How to improve your pronunciation. Jane? I don't know. Because I don't know what your problem is. There are many different problems in pronunciation. But let me give you one tip that might help you, okay? So if you want to work on your pronunciation, everybody, here's what you should do. I want you to get a piece of paper, okay? Get a piece of paper. Get some paper, okay? And on the top of the paper, across the top, I want you to write 5 or 10 words that are difficult for you to say well in English. Think about it, okay? As many words as you can. 10 would be great, okay? Try to find 10 words that are difficult for you to say well in English, okay? Maybe one of them, it's difficult because of the R sound, but the other word is difficult because of the V sound, okay? Or the TH sound, all right? So first, you write those words across the top. Okay, then I want you to look at each word and figure out, why is this word hard for me? What sound is hard in this word? Or maybe it's more than one sound. Sometimes one word has 2 sounds in it that are difficult for you, right? So write those down and then look at it and say, okay, this word here, thank you. Thank you is difficult for me. Thank or thanks, that's difficult for me because of the TH. All right. So now you know you have a problem with TH. So now you should find all the other TH words that you can write down that sound like that have the same sound, and write them down underneath. then go to the next word and say, oh, this word, the problem in this word is the V sound. I can't make a good V sound. All right, then now you need to write down a bunch of V sound words down here. When you're finished, you'll have one paper that has 10 columns. 10 columns of words that are difficult for you to pronounce well. And now you can practice those every day. And guess what? That will improve your pronunciation. Okay? That is called a target accent improvement list. That's what that's called. Target accent improvement list. Karen, it's okay if you, or did you want to come on stage and talk to me or not? You can if you want to. Raise your hand. I'll try again. And hello to the new people. You're welcome, Jane. If you have a question, raise your hand. Hello. Can you hear me? Oh, you turned your microphone off. There we go. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine, teacher.
Good. And how do I pronounce your name?
Nikayu.
Nikayu. Okay. All right. And you're in Cambodia, right?
Yes, I'm in Cambodia.
Okay. Are you in Phnom Penh or where?
Yes, I'm living in Phnom Penh.
Okay. Great. And how can I help you today? What can I do for you?
I want to ask you about. Sometimes I can understood what they said, but I can answer quickly to them.
Okay, right. Well, there are two reasons for that. One is because you just don't have enough practice. Of course, if you don't do something very much, you need more time, right? So when you're learning a language, one of the things that you're trying to learn is how to respond quickly, right? To reply quickly. But it's hard to reply quickly if you don't do it very much, right? So it's kind of like throwing a ball, right? The first time you throw a ball, you throw it really gently, right? Because you don't know how to throw, you don't know how to catch, so you throw gently. But then you practice more, and eventually you start throwing harder, right? So, so I guess what I would does that answer your question? Do you understand what I mean when I say that?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, good. All right, sorry, I kind of lost track there. Did you have any other questions or anything else that I can help you with, or do you want to talk about that more?
Another question, I want to improve my pronunciation too.
Well, you know what? And I forgot to tell you the second thing. There was two things I forgot to tell you. So the first thing is because you don't have enough practice. And the second thing is because you don't spend enough time thinking in English.
Okay.
If you never think in English, then your English is never ready. But if you spend time thinking in English, then when someone comes to speak to you in English and you hear, you will understand them quickly and you can reply quickly. But if you never speak English and you never think English, then it's kind of like you took your English and you put it in a box, and then you walk over and you put the English in the closet and you shut the door. Now your English is sitting in the closet and it's closed. It's not ready, right? Because you never use it. It's in the closet, right? So now it's got dust on it. But if you think every day, then the English is not in the closet. It's being used. So that means it's getting more comfortable. And that means when someone speaks to you, you'll hear them and you'll be able to think immediately. You won't have to translate. You'll be able to think directly in English. And then you can reply more quickly. That's usually one of the problems, is when people are speaking English, now you need a minute because you have to translate everything into your language. But if Right, but if you have to do that, that's too slow. But if you but if you learn how to think in English, then you don't need that time. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So that's what I would say. Okay, and then you said pronunciation too. You said you had a question about pronunciation?
Yes, sometimes I'm hard to explain to other. When I spoke to them, sometimes they didn't know what I mean.
Well, it doesn't sound like your pronunciation is the problem. Your pronunciation sounds pretty good, really. I can understand you. You know?
Yeah.
Now, the problem might be that maybe it's not your pronunciation. Maybe just sometimes the way you explain things is not very clear to them. And sometimes the reason why is because if you are trying to translate everything in your language, then when you say it with the wrong order. Right? So this is why sometimes Chinese people, when they speak English, they sound funny, because what they're doing is they're using English vocabulary, but they're using Chinese grammar. So what that means is the words are not in the right order. They're using the right vocabulary, but in the wrong order. And then that might be confusing. People might not understand you, right? So I don't know if that's exactly your problem, but it's possible that that could be part of it. Or, because, I understand you pretty well. You sound pretty good to me. Who were you talking to? Who did not understand you? Who was it?
Sometimes when I go to the interview for a job.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, job interviews are a little different. So job interviews, everybody. Job interviews are about one thing: confidence. Confidence, confidence, confidence.
Yeah.
Because what is a job interview? A job interview is a man or woman that has a problem. They have a problem and they're looking for a solution to their problem. So you have to look like you are the solution to their problem. Now, many people, when they go to the interview, they look nervous and they look worried and they look unsure and shy. Well, guess what? That doesn't look like you're the solution to their problems. That looks like you're another problem.
That's right.
So when you go to an interview, you have to be confident. That means you have to sit up straight. You have to look at them in the eyes. You have to speak clearly and confidently. And when they say, "Can you do this thing?" you have to say, "Yes, I can." Right? Yes, I can do this thing. You have a problem, I can help you with that problem. I want to be the solution, right? That's the feeling they have to have. All right? So really,
Yeah.
interviews are about making yourself look like you are the solution to the problem they have. Okay?
I think so, future, because when I gonna go to for job interview, I'm also practice by myself.
That's good. And
Yeah.
guess what? I also tell people that if job interviews are hard for you, then guess what you should do? You should practice. How do you practice job interviews? It's very easy. Go do an interview for a job that you don't want. Just go find a job interview that you don't even want that job. I don't want this job, but I'm going to do the interview. Why? Because it's practice. It's interview practice. Now you've got many practice. You've done many interviews, so you've got a lot of practice, right? Now you'll feel more confident. When you go to the real interview, you'll walk in and you'll feel like, oh, I've done this before. I've done this before. This is no problem. So go look online and find a job interview for a job that you don't even want. And then go apply for it. You know? And you know what's funny is maybe you'll apply for a job that you think you can't get. You can't get that job. That's too hard for you. That's too big. That they'll never hire you. Go do it and see. You never know. Maybe you'll get it, and then you'll have a great job. You know? So go practice interviews, everybody. If you have trouble with interviews, then you should go do some interviews that are just for practice. Okay?
Yes.
Anything else I can help you with, my friend? Any other questions? No more questions.
Just thinking.
Okay.
Yes, I want to ask you about a few questions, but I'm thinking what the question I'm gonna ask you.
Okay. Well, take a second and try to think of another question, or you can just write it in the chat, and I can let somebody else come up on stage. Yeah, if you don't have a question right now, why don't you think about it and you can just write them in the chat, and then I'll let somebody else come on stage and talk to you. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
Yes,
You're welcome. Come back and see me again sometime. All right? Take care, my friend. I'll see you next time.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So that was good. All right. Let's see. Let me check the comments here. That's right, Sophia. You have to look like you are the solution to the problem that they have, not just another problem for them. Okay, let's see. How about, is that Dima? Dima, are you there?
Hello, Mark.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Long
Can
time
you
no
wait a
see.
minute?
Yeah. Take your time.
I have to plug in my headphones.
Take your time. Oh, there we go. All right. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm,
Long time no see.
Yeah, these days, I always feel like, when you ask, how are you doing, these days, I feel like anybody is going to say, I'm fine, but nobody's really fine. It used to be that when you said, I'm fine, mostly that was true. Most people were, well, we're all pretty fine. Mostly we're fine. But I think now when people say, I'm fine, I think now that's mostly a lie.
You know, sometimes I answer on this question. I answer like, I'm safe and sound.
You're safe and sound, yeah, right? Sometimes that's the way you have to answer, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, if I'm not really fine, just I survived. I'm alive.
Well, then I'll give you
the most important.
I'll give you the better one to say. The one that I say all the time is, I'm hanging in there.
I'm hanging in there.
I'm hanging in there. Hanging in there. It means like you're still like hanging on. You've got one hold and you're one finger is still holding. Like, I'm still hanging, man. I'm still up there. I don't know how, but I'm still up there. You know, I'm hanging in there. Yeah, that's what that means. Yeah, it's hard. Things are hard, but I'm doing the best I can. That's the other thing I say sometimes. I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah. I think, how to say, some people just don't focus on improving their situation maybe, and they led to, how to say, my mind is a little bit confused. I don't know what I want to say.
Well, I was going to say, well, sometimes you can't always improve your situation, and that's why at those times when you can't really improve your situation, that's when you should improve the one thing you can, which is yourself. You know, when you can't improve your situation, the best you can do is improve yourself, work on yourself, develop yourself. That's the only thing you really have control over, you know? So, yeah. Well, what else is new? Did you have something? Did you have something you wanted to talk to me about today, or did you just want?
I don't know. By the way, I got a cat.
Oh, you got a cat? Oh, I think I saw a cat running around there in the back. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I found him outside. He was a small kitty, and it was winter. I decided to pick him up and to raise him, and now it's my best friend, kind of.
Yeah, that's how that works sometimes. Pets are great. Pets are great, you know. Pets are really the only animals that give unconditional love. You know, like they don't care. Like they will always, if you feed them and if you pet them and you care for them, they will always love you no matter what. And that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling.
What I love about animals, they never lie. They can be a little bit tricky, but actually they never lie like people.
Yeah, they can be naughty. They can be naughty sometimes.
Yeah,
naughty. But they're pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I like this about animals.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Dogs and cats are both good that way. Yeah. Anyway, well, that's good.
And I got a cat only because I'm a cat person. I think if it would be a dog, I don't think I could do this.
No, yeah.
I'm not a dog person.
No, why not?
I don't know. I always liked cats much more. I don't mean I don't like dogs. I like dogs, but I'm not a person who can keep a dog inside in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a person who can wake up early to walk a dog.
Yeah, and there's a lot of responsibility.
A lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
So cat is kind of more
right.
relaxed.
Yeah, cats are a little easier that way. You don't have to do too much for them. They
very suitable for me.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. Although you know, some dogs are kind of more like cats. You know, like I had a dog many years ago that was my best friend, and he was a mix of Samoyed and Chow Chow. Samoyed is a kind of Siberian dog, like the big white fluffy dog with the white fluffy hair, kind of like a husky, right? They're from Russia, actually.
How is it called?
Samoyed. Let me find it here. Hold on, I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
When you see them, you'll know. There's a people. The dog is named after the people from Siberia.
Oh yeah, I know.
The big, fluffy white dog. Very, very, very cute. Well, here, I'll show
Beautiful. What a beautiful.
you. Yeah,
dogs.
here, I'll show you my. He's gone now. He's been dead for many years, but I'll show you my dog. Let's see here. Where is my dog? Albums. Here he is. This was my dog.
Oh, what a nose! What
Yeah.
a cute nose!
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
He was super, super cute and super smart, and he was super chill. So, like, he slept all day. He would just hang out and chill out all day, just hanging around the house. He wasn't hyper, you know. If you took him to the park, he would run around and, you know, do his own thing and stuff, but he was really chill and very, very self-contained. I mean, sure, I had to walk him, but other than that, he was pretty and really smart. Really, really smart. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Anyway, animals are fun that way. Animals are great. We have a new dog now, and she's great too. She's actually really sweet. Her name is Libby. Let's see here. I just took a couple pictures with her just the other day. Let me find a good one. This is Libby. Here we go. Here's a good one. She has her legs crossed so nicely.
Oh, serious? Is it lady? Right.
Yeah, right? Yeah, she's a lady.
Serious lady.
Yeah. She's a very dainty lady. You know, she crossed her arms so nicely, right?
Like Mona Lisa.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. And she's very sweet and very nice and smart. And it's nice to have a dog. It's nice to have something you can pet, or just a pet, you know, something that you can touch. And, humans are very, we need touch. We need contact. We need touch. You know, hugs. That's why hugs are so great, you know?
Yeah.
But we always feel we can't really touch people that much, right? But when you can touch a pet, when you can pet your cat, you can pet your dog, it gives you that sense of connected feeling, like you're touching something and it's with care. And that's sometimes I feel like the art of being able to receive love is connected to the art of being able to give love. So when you learn how to give love to an animal by showing it, you know, treating it well and giving it a good home and everything like that, that affects your ability to feel love yourself, you know, that, so for me, pets are not just their friend, they're a way to feel connection. It's a way to feel touch, you know, something close to you, you know. It's an amazing feeling when an animal lets you touch it and lets you pet it. That's a pretty amazing thing, really, when you think about it. You know, like if I walk up to a deer in the woods, the deer in the woods is not going to want me to pet it. You know, so the fact that we have animals that are comfortable with us and they let us pet them is pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm lucky that my cat is a very touchable cat.
Yeah.
But for example, my friend has a cat too, and his cat is not touchable at all.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes.
he can bite, and the cat usually
Yeah.
not
Cats
so
are
friendly.
definitely a little bit more. I'll teach you a good vocabulary word. Ornery. Yeah.
Ornery,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're a little bit like they have their own way. You know, like sometimes they're like, screw you. You know, like cats don't care about you sometimes, and but that's kind of cool because that's they're not desperate for attention. You know, like they have their when they give you attention, they give it to you if they want to. If they don't, they won't. You know, but dogs, most dogs, that's why people love dogs, because when you come home and a dog hasn't seen you, if it hasn't seen you for 15 minutes, it will still see you and be like, ah, yay! You know, like, I'm so happy to see you. You know, like, it could be 15 hours or 15 minutes and the dog is going to be very, very happy no matter what, you know. So that's always kind of nice. But cats are not always that way. Cats have days when they want to be very friendly and affectionate, and cats have some days when they're like, this is a me day.
But you know, actually, my cat, when he was a little cat, still like kitty, he was always, every day, he was meeting me when I came home. He was come approaching me and, how to say, meowing.
Yeah, meowing. That's right, meow.
Meowing.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted me to
Pick
keep
him
him
up.
at home and
Yeah.
to take on my hands.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Now
see,
he wants this less, but still wants this sometimes.
right,
Because
but see, that's
big
like,
cat already.
that's because all animals, when they're young, they need to be taken care of. And being taken care of means being close, right? So it's looking for its mom, you know, who will make it feel close, you know?
They need someone to...
Right.
them.
Yeah, but see, that's the kind of thing I'm saying. Like, I think all humans have that same feeling. We are born with that same feeling of a need to be protected, a need to be connected, and a need to feel like held and touched, you know? And so that's why pets can be an amazing thing, because the act of petting is a very... If you show a person with an MRI, like a brain scan, when they're petting an animal, you will see a very, very relaxed brain. You will see a very calm brain, because animals can make you feel very, very calm. That's why they actually use animals as... we have some animals that they go to hospitals and they go to places where they have old people and sick people who are not feeling well, and everybody feels better when a dog comes in and you get to pet the dog for a little bit, you know? So there are a lot of dogs that do that people will... You have to train them. You can't just do it with any dog. You have to have a certificate. I think it takes like a year or two to become a... what do they call it? Oh, I can't, like a medical support dog or something like that. I can't remember what the title for it is now. But these are dogs that are super friendly, super nice, super touchable, very easy, and they bring them to like an old folks home to let the people play with the dog for a little while, or they bring them to a cancer ward where the kids are all, you know, they all have cancer, and, you know, the kids are happy for a little while to play with a dog, you know. That's medicine. That's medicine.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm sure it should be like medical therapy.
Right. Yeah, right. And so honestly, when we got this dog, we had another dog. We've always had dogs. My whole life we've had dogs. And we had another one who died a couple years ago now, and he lived to be about 15, I think. And it was bad at the end, and I had to pick him up and carry him outside to go to the bathroom, and I had to help him eat, and it was really, like, I had to wake up at 4 in the morning sometimes to deal with him and stuff, and it was really, really bad, and we thought maybe we're not going to do any more dogs. My parents are older, and maybe we're done, maybe. But then my sister found this dog that we have now online. My sister doesn't even live in my city. She found this dog from her city. She was online looking at shelters in our area, and she saw this dog, and she said, this dog looks great, and everything about the dog. My sister's she's an animal person. She loves dogs and cats. So she found this dog, and she recommended that we go take a look at it. We went to go take a look. We brought her home, and it was an instant match. instant match. She was perfect for this family, and now she's very comfortable here, and it's great to have an animal around again. It's so nice, so nice. There are some times when I just don't feel good, I don't feel happy, but I can go pet my dog, and feel a little bit better. You know, that's a beautiful thing.
I understand you.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Well, good for you, Dima. I'm glad that you got yourself a new roommate.
Yeah, thank you. Mark, I'd like to ask you something about English learning too. Not only English learning, about learning, just learning. I recently watched one video on YouTube about motivation, losing motivation, or the procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
And the man presenter, I don't know how to call him,
Mm-hmm.
he told like why people lose motivation after some time when they started learning something, studying. For example, I started learning foreign language, and in a couple months I can lose my motivation. And he explained it like, because usually people choose a long-lasting purpose. For example, I learn English because in the future I want to get really good job, high-paid job, but it will happen in 2 years maybe, because learning a language can take some time,
Mm-hmm.
and they go to this purpose very slowly, day by day, and they look at this purpose that is so far,
Mm-hmm.
but our brain works like it needs praise, to get praise today, maybe tomorrow, but around today, around now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we should focus not on long-lasting purpose that can happen in the future in 1 year, in 2 years, but it's better to focus on just process and to think that we learn something and we make ourselves better every day. For example, today I learned some new idioms or some new words, and I got better. I got smarter, more intelligent,
Right.
and this is kind of maybe it's better motivation.
Right. Well, so there are a lot of reasons to have motivations. And you're right. It's normal for human beings to feel like they kind of have it and lose it. But the reason why is because most people don't really think about their motivations very much. And most people definitely don't try to find multiple motivational reasons to do things. Usually people find one reason and they think that's enough, and then that's all they need. But they're not thinking about how if you get bored, now that reason has lost its value. That's why you need another reason to remind you of how important this is, right? So that's why I tell people that anyone can climb a mountain, but everyone will climb that mountain better if you have a good reason. You know? So can you climb that mountain? Sure. But if your mom is up at the top of that mountain and she broke her leg, you're going to climb better.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Oh my gosh.
So that's what I'm trying to say. That's why you have to imagine your motivations. You have to have multiple sources of motivation. You have to have many, many different things that you try to consider. Why is this good for me? You know, why am I doing this?
I didn't think about this like that.
But then the other thing that you said, is also true. Sometimes you need to just focus on the process. We call that keeping your head down. And what that means is don't walk and try to look at the destination. Just put your head down and look at your feet and move. Just keep your feet moving forward and just keep pushing forward. That's it. You know? Just keep your head down and press on. That's what we say. Keep your head down and press on. That means don't pay attention to the long game. Don't pay attention to, anything distracting you. Just keep your head down. Focus on the process. And here's the thing about anything, any skill. every skill has a measurement of time. Every skill has a measurement of how much time have you done this for. And so, most skills, the person who is the best is really just the person who did it the most, the longest. So that's why you have to keep your head down and keep moving forward. And the more you do that every single day, you are making progress, and then you'll look back a month later and feel like, oh, wow, man, damn, I got somewhere. And just like climbing a mountain, sometimes when you climb a mountain, there's one part of the mountain that feels really nice and easy. It's not so hard. And you come to this beautiful view, and it's like, wow, amazing. It's so nice. It's beautiful. But then the other part of the mountain, the next part, is climbing by your tips of your fingers, and you're barely holding on, and you could fall at any moment and die. Because learning is supposed to be a mix of, sometimes you have that feeling of like, I did it, and it feels so good. That's the beautiful view. That's the beautiful view of the mountain.
Yeah.
But then there's other times when you're learning when you feel like, oh man, I'm gonna fall. Why am I doing this? I just want to quit. This is too hard. Forget this. That's climbing the, with just your fingertips up the mountain. And that's learning. You have both. Okay? So when you do something nice and easy and you get that nice feeling, that feeling gives you motivation to do more. Right? And then you need to challenge yourself by doing something that you know is hard. Right? So when you're trying to develop a skill, you should have some goals that are easy to attain and some goals that are really hard to attain. So what that means is maybe when you're doing English, you should practice some simple vocabulary words, right? But you should also practice some really advanced vocabulary words. Okay? You should read some simple things like the newspaper, but you should also try to read something like Shakespeare. Right? So, one, reading the newspaper is not difficult. That's easy. It's written at a pretty simple level. And then you can read it and feel like, I did it. Good. That's great. I can do something. Good. But reading Shakespeare is going to make you go, oh, man. Like, what am I doing? Like, is this English? I'm not sure what I'm doing anymore. But that's okay, because you have to have a mix. You have to have some goals that are hard to get, and you have to have some that are easy because they give you energy to want to do more. And when you
easy things inspires you to,
that's right,
to keep moving.
That's right.
You feel resolved.
That's right. Again, that's that beautiful view that, after the beautiful view, you feel like, let's climb some more. I can climb more now. I had a beautiful view. We had some picnic. It was great. Let's go. But again, sometimes when you have a really big challenge, when you get to the top of the mountain, man, does it feel good. Like small goals are good. They give you that good feeling that you need to press on to do something more. But big goals are also really important, because big goals are the ones that make you feel like you're making actual progress. Like you actually feel like you're you know how high you've climbed on the mountain, right? Sometimes when you're climbing a mountain, if you don't pay attention, you don't really realize where you are, right? But when you make a big goal and you accomplish it, you can say, I'm at 10,000 feet now. I'm at 10,000 feet. I've done 10,000 feet. That's great. Now I have to go to the next 10,000 feet. Right? I'm sorry, I'm from America. We use feet. I should say, kilometers, right?
No.
Meters. My bad. Yeah, same thing. But yeah, you have to have a combination of both simple goals and difficult goals. And learning, you need many, many, many methods. You need a system. It's really simple. Again, I always like to imagine it's just like climbing a mountain, because climbing a mountain, you can do it without preparing. You can just say, I'm going to climb that mountain today. Right now, I'm going to go climb that mountain. Or you can prepare and you can think about, what do I need for this mountain? What are the skills I need? What are the tools I need? How should I prepare myself to go up this mountain? Do I have a map? Did I talk to anybody else who went up this mountain? Right? That's preparing yourself well to learn. But some people, when they learn, they're just climbing the mountain with no plan and no equipment and no skills and no nothing.
But some people do.
Some people
do this.
That's true. Some people do.
Improvisation.
That's true. No. Well, there's a big difference between improvisation. Improvisation is a valuable skill. But what I'm saying is that many people.
You're talking about musical skill.
What I mean is that many people say, I'm serious about learning. I really want to learn English. But when I ask them, what is your system? What is your plan? What is your process? They don't have one. They don't have one. They do a little bit of this, they do a little bit of that, but they don't have a real system. They don't have a plan.
That many people that talk here in Hello Talk,
everybody.
They say, I want to learn English, I want to improve English. And sometimes I ask, how do you study? How do you learn? What do you use?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing,
Yeah. Well, guess what? Let me teach you another English idiom. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Anybody can say anything. That doesn't mean anything. So when you say I'm studying English, that means nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
I'm a president. I am president of
that's
my country.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Unless you actually do it, it doesn't mean anything. You are not what you do. You are not what you say. You are what you do. You are not what you say. You are what you do. So many people come here and they say, I want to learn English. English is so important to me. I really want to learn. You don't understand. Why aren't you helping me? And then I ask them, do you have a plan? Do you study? Do you have a system? No. They just want me to give them everything. They just want somebody to give it to them. But no, guys, if you want to learn something, you have to earn it. That's why the word learn has earn in it. Look, everybody, if you want to learn, then you must earn it. EARN. It's the last part of the word learn. Earn it. You have to earn it. You can't just get it without working for it. You have to earn it. Yeah, learning takes earning. Yeah.
By the way, about that idiom that you mentioned, put your head down, right?
Yeah, keep your head down.
Keep your head down.
Keep your head down. That just means, again, you're walking, and you just keep your head down.
There is one movie about this idiom, I think. Whole movie is about this idiom. It's called Peaceful Warrior. I don't remember stars who were playing that movie.
Let me see.
Peaceful Warrior. It's about this idea, like
Peaceful Warrior.
Yeah, not that movie actually.
This
movie is based on a book. But I read book. Book is totally different. They totally
I see. Yeah, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Okay.
Maybe The Way. Yeah, there is a book. There is a movie.
Right. Yeah, the movie is just called Peaceful Warrior. The book was The Way of the Peaceful Warrior.
Yeah, movie is much more simple for understanding, for to absorb this idea.
I might have seen that. I may have seen it. I don't know.
Probably. It's an old movie.
You say that's old. To me, that's not old at all.
No?
No. 2006. That's still new to me. When I think of old, I think of 1975, 1965. I don't think of, Anyway.
Yeah, recently, before I never called movies from 2000s.
Old, I know, but it is now. I know.
Recently, I started calling, after 2020, I think I started calling like old, because already
It is
20 years.
20 years. I know it's 20 years. Yeah, but I feel like there's a certain there's a problem with the perception of time, where 20 years doesn't feel like anything anymore. Like it used to be. The difference between the 70s and the 90s was huge. That was a huge difference, right? The difference between the 60s and the 80s, huge difference. But when you think back to 2000, 2010 compared to now, it's really not huge difference.
Maybe, maybe it's connected with how to say, age. It's a special age, because in 70s and 60s, 80s, 90s, everything was changing fast, I think. New fashion, new music appeared, but now, like, everything is like
a blend. Yeah. I think
head
that you're.
start.
I think that you're kind of right there. I think that maybe it was easier to notice the shift in time periods before, but now the shift is kind of blended all together, and now we're not really sure. The only way we recognized the time now is by technology.
AI, for example,
yeah, that's
AI.
but that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say is, compared to 2001, right now, today, the technologies that we have, AI is the only really big one that's like, AI and quantum computers are the two big ones, but they haven't really affected us too much yet, right? So we're kind of in this period right now where for the last 20 years or so, things have been roughly the same. Things haven't been that different. We've had cars, we've had phones, we've had, but nothing has really been that different. And I think that's one reason why many people are more nervous about AI, because I think AI is the change we've been expecting. Like, again, the 80s felt very different than even the 70s, right? The 90s felt different than the 80s, right? But we don't have that 10-year phase anymore. Now it's longer, right? So maybe this is the next change, is a 20-year change instead of a 10-year change. It used to be a decade. Every decade we would talk about what decade, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, right? Each decade was defined socially, right? What were people like during that time? But now, between 2000 and 2025, are people really that different? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. Dima, I'm going to let you go, my friend, because I need to bring another person up on stage or so. But it was always a pleasure to see you. It's always a pleasure. And come back and see me anytime, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And say hello to your cat for me.
Yeah, sure. say hello to your dog, too.
All right. Take care, my friend. I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, see you, Mark.
Okay, just 1 second, everybody. All right. I don't have too much more time. What time is it? Wow, it's almost time. I've been here for an hour and 50 minutes, so I have about 10 more minutes. If you guys have more questions, then ask me your questions. All right, let's see. That's right. Don't only talk the talk, but walk the walk. All right, Mark. If if you are ready. Mark, are you there? Hello? Uh-oh. Maybe the connection's not good. The other teacher, Mark. Tiger. On this app right now, there is only one teacher, Mark. That's me. But there was another teacher, but I think he's gone now. However, the name Mark is a very common name. Sometimes when I was in school, there would be 3 or 4 Marks in my class, just in one class. So I'm in science class, and there's, 4 kids named Mark. Mark, I'm trying to talk to you, but it sounds like maybe your connection is just not good, because I can't talk to you. I can't hear you. I can't see you. I'm going to take you off stage and see if you can try again. Try again. Maybe raise your hand one more time, and I'll see if it works better the second time, maybe. But it could be sometimes the connection in Pakistan is not so good. Let's try Appy was next. That's not what I want.
Oh,
Hello, Appy, how are you?
hello. I am pretty good. What about you?
I'm pretty good also. Here, I'll turn off your camera for you. It's off now.
Okay.
Okay, and
I can't
you're in
operate
India?
this mobile. Sorry?
You're in India? In what city?
Yeah, I am from India, city in Indore, Madhya Pradesh.
Ah, okay, all right. And what can I do for you today? Do you have a question for me?
Yeah, so how can speak in English and how can improve my English?
Appy, that's a big question. That's a big question. So you have to practice every day, and you need a good plan. Okay? So here's what I want to do. I'm going to show you my blog. Ooh, I hear the doggy. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I'm going to show you my blog. And in my blog, I have some articles that I wrote that you can read that answer many questions of everybody. So, for example, somebody was asking me how to make a plan. What's your plan in English? So, if you want to know about how to make a plan, then you should go read that article. Okay, but Appy, I'm a teacher, and I have been on this app for many years. Okay, and I have many followers, and I'm here. I'm usually here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sometimes I'm here on Saturday also. Okay? About 83,000 people follow me to learn English. And they ask me questions about reading and writing and listening and speaking and grammar and vocabulary and pronunciation and everything. So if you follow me here every day, if you go to my YouTube channel, if you go to my blog, I gave you my blog. Here's my blog again. Go to my blog and you can read my blog. Go to my YouTube and you can watch my YouTube videos. I have many videos on YouTube, hundreds of them. Watch them and learn something. Take some notes, okay? There's my YouTube. I also have a website, and on my website I have many resources for studying English, and you can also find my blog there too. All right. So, Abby, how to improve your English? That's a big question. It's too big. So, what you should do is start watching me and make some notes and make a plan. All right? Start reading my blog, start watching my videos, start paying attention, and you need to do practice every day and you need to make a plan. Okay?
Okay, okay. Teacher, you have any dog? You can say you have a dog. I am used in animal lover. I have a 2 pets, one stray dog, rescue dog, and one stray dog. No, one dog is Labrador, gifted. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I am used animal lover.
Okay, yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm a big animal lover too. And yeah, so that's great. Yeah, we all love dogs here apparently. That's great. So,
I
Abby,
am feeding a stray dog.
you're feeding a stray dog now? That's good for you. That's nice of you. That's sweet. That's sweet. Yeah. In America, we don't have too many stray dogs. We used to. A long time ago, we had a big problem with stray cats and stray dogs. But in the 1970s and 1980s, America made a really big change and we started doing a lot of things to try to help the stray animals. And now we don't have very many. We don't have too many. So my dog, where did we find my dog? We found my dog at an animal shelter where they had her there, like she was a stray, but they were taking care of her, right? And so now we have her. So now she's not a stray anymore, right? So anytime we see stray dogs on the street, now we try to catch them and we try to take care of them until we can find a family or someone who wants that dog, right? So many years ago we used to have a big problem with street dogs and street cats, but we don't have a big problem with that anymore. But I know that many places like India, there are many street dogs and street animals, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So, and sometimes you have to be careful. Sometimes they can be dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have 5 dog bite.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, be careful.
Only for feeding.
Be careful. Yeah.
So, yeah, my sister is immediately taken hospital and rabies injection.
Yeah, that's not good. Ooh, ouch. Yeah, that's not good. Well, be careful, Abby. Be careful, okay? And I'm going to let you go because it's time for me to go have some lunch. But it was nice to talk to you, Abby, and just watch some more. Watch me every day and try to learn a little bit every day, okay?
Okay, teacher.
All
I
right.
am already follow you, and I am many time. Actually, I have no mobile. I am using my sister mobile. I am
okay.
only 14 year old. So I
Okay.
have no mobile.
I
I am
understand.
spend time. Yeah, I am spend time with my dog and my outdoor friend and my family and my homework.
Okay, well, good. Well, keep working on it. And your English is very good for only that age. So good for
I
you.
am learning only for myself. Nothing,
Wow.
teacher
Good for you.
And just yeah.
Good for you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, it was nice to talk to you, Abby, and take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye, teacher.
Okay, so again, it's been 2 hours I have been here. If you haven't followed me already, follow me if you want to. You know, this is my blog, and on my blog you can find many articles that I have written about English, right? Or about learning or about life, okay? This is my link tree. On my link tree you can find everything. Okay, on my link tree you can find my website, my blog, my YouTube, everything is on there. Okay? So if you want to go to my link tree, you can follow my YouTube. Go to my link tree, you can follow my blog. Go to my YouTube, my link tree, you can follow my website. Okay? Let's see. You recently started working as a teacher, need some guidance. Okay, quickly, Cinderella. So what's your question? About literature for grade 7, how can you teach them skills? So, the thing that I thought was so stupid when I was in school learning literature, they make you read books and they don't tell you why first. They made us read The Great Gatsby, and then you find out why later. You find out at the end why. But if you want a kid to understand why The Great Gatsby is important, then you need to tell them why it's important. You cannot expect them to figure it out. They're only 13 years old. They're 14, whatever. That's too young. If you want them to be interested in the literature, you have to tell them about it first. Tell them about the literature. Tell them about the story. Tell them why it's important. Tell them how it relates to them, right? Find a way to make it make sense to them, all right? I can think of so many books that I had to read, forced to read. I was forced to read them, and I didn't like them. I didn't like any of them. And the reason I didn't like any of them is because nobody ever asked me if I know what it's about. Nobody asked me if I know why I'm reading it. Nobody asked me if I know why this is important. Why this book, not another book? So what I would say is, if you're going to choose a book for them to read, and it's a valuable book, maybe it's an important book that has a good message, an important message. Like, I remember when I was at that age, I think we read the book, The Lord of the Flies. The Lord of the Flies is a great book. It's about a group of boys who their plane crashes and they have to survive on an island by themselves with no adults. And these kids become crazy, like animals, and there are two groups that they fight each other, right? And so this book it's a story about humanity. It's a story about how when people don't have anyone looking after them, they get wild. It's a story about how in desperate situations, now you are being controlled by somebody who maybe you don't agree with, but you don't have any choice, right? So there are so many things they could have told me that's why we're reading this book. That's why. You have to tell them. I think they are afraid that if you tell them what it's about first, they won't be interested. Well, guess what? They're not interested. They're not interested already. They are not interested. So you just tell them what it's about, because they're already not interested. You may as well tell them. Okay? And then Cinderella, choose good books. If you can. If you're allowed to choose the right ones, then choose good ones. Find something they're going to really like. Okay? It's also sad how many books that they forced us to read where it was like, you could have chosen this one. And that one's also a quality book. And maybe we would have liked that one more. But you decided to read, make us read Ethan Frome. I'm sorry, it's a good book, but whatever. Make it interesting. Make them understand why they're reading it. Literature cannot be understood if you don't know why. Okay? All right, that's going to be it for me today, guys. I have to go. Yes, I am an English teacher. Okay? Yes, so long. 2 hours. That's right. It is too long. So I have to go. So I'll be back tomorrow for more. So come back and see me again tomorrow. All right? Around the same time. Okay? I try to have a schedule, but it's a little bit loose. It's a little flexible. All right? So usually I try to be here Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday. Usually I start around 9 or 10 a.m. my time. I don't know what time that is for you. Figure it out. Okay? I don't know every time zone in the world, but I know mine. And mine is I start around 9 or 10 a.m. And it's New York City time. I live in the same time zone as New York City. So find out what time 9 or 10 a.m. is in New York City, and then find out what time that is in your city, and now you'll know what time I'm on. Okay? All right, that's it. I have to go. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening wherever you live in the world, and come back and see me tomorrow. Okay?